Hello and welcome to all of our guests and listeners. My name is Alex and I work with the community team at Caduceus. So I'm delighted to be here today and thank you all so much for joining. Now, before we get started, I'd like to say a special thank you to our guests for today. We have Zach from Mallconomy, Vlad from Dystoworld, Ruby Lulu from MeStar and Roman from Gagarin. So thank you so much for attending this event. Massively appreciated and thank you so much for joining. Now, in case you are new here, I'll do a short introduction about Caduceus. So Caduceus is a layer 1 blockchain dedicated to metaverse development, offers up to 100,000 TPS and almost non-existent gas fees, all powered by real-time edge rendering. So of course, to find out more about Caduceus, please do follow our socials, join our community and look out for the latest news and updates. So we have a really cool topic discussion today, DeFi trends and opportunities in Web3 era. So as I've said multiple times, very excited to be joined by some great speakers today who I will actually allow to introduce themselves. Zach from Mallconomy, maybe if you'd like to start off and give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself and the project, that would be great.
Sure. It's great to be here today. And what we do as a Mallconomy, we're building a socialized, the gamified social e-commerce platform. It is like the different than the other products out there. So we love to gamify everything up and get back our community as the first thing. So we are empowering the creators and the business owners, projects, developers, you name it, from idea to metaverse, with the community-backed solutions there.
Okay. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing a little bit more as we go through the AMA today. Thanks, Zach.
Sure.
And Vlad, maybe if you could jump up on stage and do the same thing, give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself and Dystoworld, that would be great.
Yeah, hi, I'm Vlad. I'm in the Web3 and blockchain space since early 2017. I've been a builder in the space. I've been into DeFi, into NFTs, into pretty much all aspects of the market, building products. I'm now working at Dystoworld, and here at Dystoworld, we're trying to give NFT collections the boost they need when they launch. And Dystoworld is an NFT launchpad, and we're trying to leverage AI to give a head start to the collection that we're launching.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Vlad. Again, looking forward to hearing more as we go through the AMA today. And of course, if I can pass it over to yourself, Ruby Lulu from MeStar, if you could do the same thing, give a little bit of an introduction.
Hi. Yes. Hi, Alex. Thank you for having us. So I'm Ruby, and MeStar is a voxel metaverse ecosystem to boost the NFTify and B2B and creator economy, and for users and project managers in both Web3 and Web2 spaces.
Thank you very much. And certainly last but not least, Roman, if you could do the same thing and give us a little bit more information about yourself and the project, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Roman, and I'm a CDO and co-founder of Gagarin World, an ecosystem that helps crypto startups successfully launch and invest in them. Additionally, I'm the CDO and co-founder of our Squad Blockchain Lab, and we are providing blockchain development services since 2017, let's say, and specialized in DeFi and cross-chain development.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. So we've got some really qualified speakers to talk about today's topic. Really looking forward to getting into it. So we've got a few questions to go through for today. It'd be great maybe if we could start doing it in the same order. So maybe I'll put the first question to yourself, Zach, if that's okay. And the first question is, what's your opinion on the current state and future trends of the DeFi space?
Oh, it's a good question, man. In my opinion, DeFi has been growing tremendously in the last couple of years, and the current state of the space is quite exciting, to be honest. I mean, everything that we see just in the market is growing up. It's quite nicely. But you know, as you know, it's just growth from its grassroots. This is the most exciting part. So it's not just like the other industry, as I have like a quite extensive experience in the fintech and then the good old the ways of the finance, to be honest. And with just more people just coming into space, it just creates the more opportunities, because all these users requests just brings up new areas to develop. And it's a further trend is like a few key areas is like the significant growth in the coming years as well. So, I mean, the first thing is what we see, a lot of just companies is coming up there with brilliant ideas, but it was impossible to move your assets from one to one, and now it's just gone. So the interoperability is one of the key developments in the last years. And secondly, you know, the innovation and the exchange side and the liquidity side was one of the key issues to be fixed, and seems like it's just getting really well nowadays, and it's quite exciting, to be honest. It's a part of to be in a journey. It looks really great.
No, thank you. It really is. I'll definitely echo that. This whole journey has always been exciting for me, even from the first day into sort of Web3 and crypto, and seeing how it all develops and evolves is amazing stuff. But Vlad, if I could put the same question to yourself, is there anything you have to add to that, or a different opinion maybe? What's your opinion on the current state and future trends of the DeFi space?
Well, I think major step in the DeFi space was the introduction of flashbots. I think that it was an issue with minor extractable value, and certain people had certain advantages. And now that flashbots almost or is on the path of democratizing that, that's some great news for builders all around the world and for the DeFi space. And I think there's a big opportunity there that only certain people have access to, and now with flashbots everyone can hop in and profit from that opportunity in a very fair way. So for me, that's one of the biggest advancements in which is related to DeFi space as well. This done in the last couple of months, years.
Yeah, no, thank you, Vlad. That's quite interesting. I'd maybe have a follow-up question to that, but I'll let everybody else answer first and see if maybe they cover what I was looking for. But Ruby, do you have anything to add to that? And I will say, if you need me to repeat any of your questions at any time today, guys, just let me know. Rather than me saying it every time over again, if you need me to repeat it, just let me know. That's not a problem. Ruby,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. So I think DeFi has many mechanisms which are worth learning for metaverse projects like us. It has many benefits when it comes to improving liquidity and user trading experiences. So in fact, due to the practical factors such as the Fed's interest rate hike like in the past years, liquidity in various fields has become a little tense, so has DeFi, which has returned to a balanced development stage for the peak bubble. So personally, I think that the launch of many public chains and some recent experiments such as the Bitcoin network or BRC, and there will still be new DeFi products and fund pools, but those will be more dependent on the market or macro factors, which will directly affect whether there are new funds outside the venue.
Okay. No, thank you. Some really great stuff coming from the speakers today. And Roman, again, not last but not least, we'll try to swap that around a little bit as we go halfway through, so you get a little bit of first-time airtime. But do you have anything to add to that?
No, I'm good. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's for Roman. Nice. Thank you, Ruby. Very sufficient answer. We'll see if Roman's got anything else left to add after you guys have obviously put quite a lot into it. So, Roman, feel free if you do have anything to add.
Yeah, I think I have my own opinion, let's say. So that currently the DeFi space has gone through a lot of things and has reached a point of stability. And what allows me to make this statement, I think it's because there are now many established protocols and tools. When people think of DEX, they think usually about Uniswap and its forks. When they think, let's say, about lending, Aave comes to mind, and so on. What I want to emphasize is that there's now a set of standard tools that have become familiar to us. In sense, we have experienced the so-called adoption, at least among crypto enthusiasts who are now familiar with these tools. Looking back, the DeFi journey began with the emergence of stablecoins, which are essential to the DeFi market. Yeah, and today There are numerous stable coins available, ranging from stables without collateral to algorithmic stable coins. Then came DEX with various implementation, eventually settling on Uniswap balancer and Curve as industry standards. Then the great migration of liquidity to yield farming followed, and so on. But now we can clearly see that the experiments, in my opinion, more or less come to an end, and the tools have stabilized. There haven't been any revolutionary developments for quite some time. There are attempts such as bond NFTs and others, but in my opinion, overall, the space has been stable for the past few years. I'm not sure if this is tied to the market condition or actual stability of the tools, but either way, development will continue. And I think we will discuss my perspective on future trends in following discussions.
Thank you, Roman. You touched up on some points there, which kind of directly leads into my next question. So maybe for this next question, I'll ask the first one to yourself, Roman, seeing as it was a follow-up. So, and then we'll go backwards on the way through. I'll let you know. But Roman, so I'm just going to ask yourself, in the DeFi market, are there many different types of financial products and protocols? There are, sorry. So such as lending, stable coins, DEXs, etc. So out of all of those, which of these DeFi products or protocols do you think will lead the market development in the future, and why?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the existing financial products on DeFi space have not only been around for a while, but are also limited in number and have become well established. In fact, the most significant DeFi event in recent times has been the transition of some exchanges from Uniswap version 2 to Uniswap version 3. This indicates that most tools have already been invented, and it's unlikely that we'll see any radical changes in near future, at least not for the next few years, in my opinion. It's also important to understand that new products emerge mainly in new chains, and typically this looks like a new EVM-compatible network with new Uniswap fork. However, let's now follow this apparent penalty to cloud our judgment. Non-EVM chains are emerging, and that's where things get interesting. It's crucial to recognize that not all new chains can simply fork Uniswap. They can, it can be done everywhere, and moreover, it's the right approach since Uniswap has proven its effectiveness. But I believe we should expect innovations from these new networks. Let me give you an abstract example. Suppose there are asynchronous blockchain network where flash loans can be implemented and balances are managed differently, making it difficult to create a standard AML. Many developers are trying to adapt these new network technologies to the familiar EVM chain pattern. But what if builder, let's say, decides to see the differences between the network not as disadvantage that prevents forking Uniswap directly, but as a new technological asset? What if asynchronously or asynchrony, or a different way of handling wallets open up new possibilities? In my opinion, that's where progress is made. And in summary, I don't think we will see any significant technological innovation in the DeFi sector within EVM-compatible chains in coming years. However, when developers in other networks start using their differences as advantages, truly new tools that were previously impossible to create may emerge, offering new experience. That's when something new and existing will happen. In my opinion, the driving force behind DeFi will not be sophisticated smart contracts, but new blockchain networks with innovative technologies that enable previously impossible capabilities.
No, thank you, Roman. That was a very, very insightful answer. So no, thank you so much. And if we could put that to yourself now, Ruby, I can put that same question to you. Again, if you need me to repeat the question, feel free. But
no, I'm good. I'm just feeling a little pressure because there are so many great opinions. So
yes, everybody's entitled to their opinion on where the space may or may not go and what's going to happen. So feel free to speak freely.
Okay. So like, just for my opinion, like for projects such as Metaverse, like us, stable currency and DX are just in our needs because the demand for stable currency and DEX will become weaker than now if there's no DeFi. And consider that before the DeFi summer, people's demand, like users' demands within the Metaverse for stable currency was no more to be replaced by legal currency as a trading medium on the exchange, or to exchange OTC or money laundering events, etc. Then after the appearance of DeFi, people chose to hold stable coins in order to obtain staking revenue. For example, the staking system we had within our NFT. So to reduce the fluctuation risk of managing tokens in their own hands, most of the stable coins in circulation in the market were issued at a time when demand for DeFi was surging. If we hope that the price of encrypted monetary assets in this field will rise further, then there's no doubt the development of DeFi is very important.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you. That is a great answer as well. So it's always great to hear all the different opinions and knowledge and experience of all of our speakers. So thank you so much for your contribution. Vlad, if I could put the same question towards yourself, that would be brilliant.
Right. So regarding stable coins, my personal opinion is that we need more regulation in this perspective, and I think that ultimately to have a super safe stable coin, I think that governments need to start and emit stable coins. I find it very hard to have a 100%, not 100%, but a very safe stable coin because of scenarios like what happened with USDC, for example. Like USDC did everything correct in my opinion, but still the bank that they were storing their real dollars with went in a bank run. So they had their assets in Silicon Valley Bank, and because they got lucky because government intervened and saved the day. But I think ultimately a really stable coin would be something that's really pegged with the US dollar, for example, and enforced by the Federal Reserve or by the US government. So I think that's the ultimate goal in reaching a real stable coin.
Thanks, Vlad. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's I know what you mean. The whole USDC thing was definitely a shock to a lot of people, I think, and like you say, for a reason which was kind of almost out of their control at that point. They did everything by the books or by what we would think is to be the most reasonable and safe way to do things, Also interesting, maybe another topic to get into would be sort of algorithmic stable coins and what you think of those, but I won't trouble with you with that review. I won't trouble you with that for now. Zach, if I can pass it over to yourself to finish off this one.
Sure. I'm just going to echo everyone, actually. Just that was great answers and great opinions, to be honest. But I strongly believe that the DeFi is still in an early stages, like a baby steps, right? So we just started, so it's going to go massive from there. I mean, that's true, I believe. And I'd like to see the innovative products is going to be coming out to markets, and also the protocols is going to keep emerging, and then exciting ones going to come in the coming years. So, however, I think the landing protocols is going to be playing the key factor, because still this is the adoption stage, and we're still going to need the landing protocols if we're going to look to finance the world a little bit. So this is going to be one of the core bases, and it's just also doing a remarkable job right now. But still, there's needs a lot of improvements. And it's great to see that these products is getting in the market, day by day, with some major players is going to come in. So it's super excited for that as well. And also, decentralized exchanges is going to be the key, because the access to the funds is always going to be issues, and these products and the services just plays really important part. And I'm super excited to see those two. The key areas is going to be getting much more stable every day. It's offering a better a product and the services. More trust is going to come into market, and we're going to see that sparkles of the mass adoption, which we all going to be enjoy. I guess I'm sick of just waiting on my bank just to sort a 15 minutes of a job for an hour, and those are just coming to pass right now. Especially with these two key the services, to be honest.
Amazing. No, thank you, Zach, and thank you everybody for answering that question. It seems that, sort of collectively, that all of these components are going to play a vital part in obviously the future of DeFi for many different reasons. So no, thank you so much, guys. Now, just to move on to the next question, and Zach, maybe we'll switch it around and I'll start with you again and we'll go the other way around. So the next question is actually one that's focused on interoperability. So the question is, interoperability has always been an important topic in the DeFi space. So how do you think interoperability can be achieved between different DeFi protocols to provide a more seamless flow of capital and improved user experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a critical topic in DeFi space, isn't it? So, and still, I don't think that's still there, but there's some nice progress just coming up, and it's really exciting to see what's going to happen as the next step. But there are some key players just taking key actions, and we see that it's just getting better and better every day. This is going to fuel the growth, and hopefully we're going to get there really soon. The potential, the solution to achieve interoperability is through it's cross-chain bridges, and after all. And which will allow the seamless movement of the assets between platform to platform, and all these DeFi protocols, and we'll come with another approach to develop the layer 2 solutions. So I'm quite excited to see what's going to come next. To be honest, after that, some just works, some doesn't work as expected, but we see some good developments. I'm sure that Vlad is going to have some good things to say in this topic in a moment. and yeah, it's quite exciting to see that's actually that gap is getting close each by day, and as builders product developers like us, I'm not just really into super a DeFi space anymore, thank God. So that's a little bit a nerdy side, but now it allows us to build the amazing products, because all this gap is getting filled. Yeah, it's just waiting for that, to be honest.
Amazing. Thank you, Zach. Great answer of lots of nice information in there. Vlad, is there anything that you'd like to add to
that? Yeah, from the technical perspective, something that's very, let's say, cutting edge technology for interoperability for DeFi is zero knowledge proofs. I've been trying to study that, and I have been working with Circom, which is a programming language that allows you to build circuits for which you can build ZK snarks and deploy smart contracts that prove different that you have different inputs and outputs for that specific circuit, and that's very, very useful for privacy and scalability. And in the scalability side, stuff like ZK rollups is based on that, and I think that's the next big step in interoperability for DeFi.
Amazing stuff. All sounds very exciting. Ruby, have you got anything that you'd like to tail on the end of that with?
Sure. But I'm not an expert when it comes to interoperability, so I'm just gonna share my own thoughts.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So in my opinion, I'm not even sure if I'm correct or not, but I think all bridges need a certain technology thresholds to solve, but in fact the bridge itself requires a very high technical threshold. So if the goal is to improve interoperability or capital efficiency in this field, I think some will definitely sacrifice security, and therefore I will hold my thoughts about this before I see a solution that's fully proven by the market.
Okay, no, thank you for speaking, Ruby. Thank you for speaking. And again, last but not least, Roman, if you've got anything to add or speak out on this one, that would be great.
Yeah, of course. I'm a technical guy, same as that, let's say. So I will try to explain my opinion in technical perspective. And if we are talking interoperability between DeFi protocols, it's question seems to be a little bit strange for me. Because I don't quite understand the problem being posed in this question. I mean, if we're talking about DeFi protocols, but in the blockchains, the different things. And, if we're talking about a single protocol or good interoperability for DeFi protocols, it might be more convenient for arbitrageurs, for example, but how it leads to development, let's say, it's another issue. And I believe that the key focus should be on direct interactions between different chains rather than the aggregation or single interface for DeFi protocols, if we're talking about solutions. In other words, my opinion that the key is bridging. And I think you all know that there are already various solutions in this area, from simple token transfers to entry protocols that facilitate cross-chain transactions. However, all of these solutions have fundamental problems such as wrap liquidity and so on, but it's not the topic, as I told you, if we are talking not about DeFi protocols, but about bridging, it's important to note that I don't consider, direct protocol should be, good practice, to the interaction to be a good practice. Simple token transfers should be enough, in my opinion. If we are talking about future developments in this area, I think trustless technologies are the way to go. In my opinion, it's not only ZK proofs. There are at least 3 projects, as I know, currently working on bridges without relayers in general. Just imagine you have a secure interaction between networks and there are no off-chain nodes for transaction verifications and so on. You can't lose the keys. There will be a lot of frauds with the bridges past 2 years, and this is like what I call a trustless bridge, Do you remember the atomic swap technology?
Vlad shaking.
Of course, but it's not used anymore. Let's say it's never been used. Atomic swaps in case of bridging, somewhat similar. When you have just 2 blockchains and nothing in off-chain layer. I mean, no oracles, no relayers, and so on. But there is a main difference that these new solutions I described before are actually usable. This is usually achieved through the use of ZK proofs, as Vlad mentioned, and the creation of light clients directly on the smart contracts, enabling one blockchain smart contracts to verify another blockchain. The subject is really interesting, and I could talk about it a lot, but time constraints won't allow me to do that. So just because it's really one of the most interesting, I think, technical part for me is because Ethereum, for example, made their scene committees to build very simple light clients and so on, and you can build light client directly on virtual machine of other chain and use it for bridging. It just blow my mind. But in summary, I believe that the future lies in interoperability through trustless bridges and technologies that enable interaction between different blockchains rather than just between protocols.
Amazing stuff. Thank you, Roman. Very in-depth answer. Vlad, I saw you nodding your head a lot. If there's anything you want to add to that again or speak about with Roman there, feel free to add before we move on to our final question.
Just one thing. I think we shouldn't limit ourselves to just bridges. I mean, yeah, we've already figured out how to do trustless bridges through ZK proofs. But I think there's more to, for example, for ZK proofs, and we can extend that even further from just bridges. For example, making some DeFi protocols, for example, the Uniswap and QuickSwap, or I don't know, some swaps, we can make some more degree of interoperability through ZK proofs, in my opinion, than just bridging and token transfers. I don't know how, but I think there's that's a good area of study, and I think we'll see some improvements in this direction.
Yeah, you know, cross-chain access and cross-chain liquidity is reality right now. And but as I know, no one of them using ZK proofs. But if they will, it will be really interesting. Like you know, let's say USDT pair, but USDT in BNB chain, for example, and USDC in Ethereum. It should be a really interesting case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Thank you very much, guys. So let's move on to our final question for the AMA today. Again, just want to thank you all so much for joining the AMA and going through these with me. So Zach, maybe I'll pop this to yourself and we'll go in the same original order. So the final question is, there are currently many innovations in technology and economic modeling in the DeFi field, such as DAOs, NFTs, etc. What impact do you think these innovations will have on the future development of DeFi, and what opportunities and challenges might they bring? I think we may have already touched up on some of this and gone over it. But, you know, anything anybody wants to add, Zach, we can go through.
Sure. I'm going to have to just repeat myself again, but it's a couple of stuff. But the innovation, it's just in the technology and especially the economic building side of things is just seeing in the DeFi space, you know, such as like DAOs. I mean, of course, the NFTs has a huge potential, and especially in this the question, I guess. And the future of the development of the DeFi, it really relies on a couple of things. If you're going to make just like a simple review of how the space is getting adopted and also growing, and I think the DAOs and NFTs still going to be key players in the next couple of years. Especially the NFTs has been really huge in the last 2 years. For example, like DAOs just allows for decentralized decision-making side of things, also the community governance, which can help to ensure that the DeFi, the protocols are truly community-driven approach and transparent. So NFTs, on the other hand, just really just boost and turbocharge that adoption at the same time. That can be represent like a unique assets and provide kind of like a new form for collateral and for DeFi, the lending and the borrowing. Just this comes with the last question. So these innovations is going to grow massively, in my opinion, if you're going to ask me. And there are some issues still we're trying to achieve, such as like, you know, I'm a member of a couple of DAOs, and you know, it's not there yet, but you know, some of them still doing a great job. For instance, like a Wild DAOs just can promote decentralization and the community engagement at the same time. They also require some kind of like a careful the management and the governments to prevent like potential the issues like lack of decision making. This is really just pisses me off as a DAO member, to be honest. So it's really slow, cranky. Some of them are really good, but some of them's not there yet. And the other thing is, you know, we're all human beings, and sometimes we're not just having the greatest day, such as like I'm currently sick right now. I'm not super positive. It might be happen to you, and then I'm going to be, you know, asked for, you know, give the decision. You know, I'm going to be maybe biased. Maybe I'm not, you know, in the good mood. That's going to affect all other members as well, and it may, you know, that kind of like isn't a good thing. So, as an AI-powered metaverse builder, what we do is what we use the AI for, not just helping our, you know, the customers and services. It's mostly like remove the decision-making biases, because, you know, I do trust AI more than some of my friends, to be honest, when just giving like a decision-making. I guess when it comes to use in a nice manners, with the power of the machine learning, it could get somewhere much faster. For an example, my previous startup was for helping people to come democratizing the finance, just like any other the Web3 startup, but that was in strictly on the Web3 and the FCA regulation. And what we try to do is we use the mathematical theory. You all know it's really, it's like 200 years old theory, which is called like the wisdom of crowds. we were asking people about the future decision making of the assets is going to be like. AI was removing all the bias, and the trading expert was giving the decision making. So that was like a perfect working condition. Those three, the inputs has to aligns to able to make a trade decision. So that was how we removed the bias. I think they should be applying with this kind of the AIs, the open AI just supports a great tool, and a lot of the other AI just companies popping up every day. So I think that was going to benefit with this a lot. And also while the NFT is bringing much more the asset ownership and of course the money into the space.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Zach. And yeah, just again for everybody, I know that we've gone over obviously quite a lot on this topic. So if the question sort of you're going to find yourself repeating yourself, feel free to sort of give more of a final statement on today's topic before we wrap it up. But Vlad, I'll pass the question on to you. If you have anything to add or any further statements, please do.
In principle, I think that DAOs and NFTs will be the big innovations, because I think these topics can be, and these technologies can be well communicated to people who are not in crypto. Like if I go to my uncle who does traditional finance and only keeps his money in stock market and stuff like that, he doesn't really understand why he would get into crypto. And I think like having NFTs with real utility, like sort of licensing through NFTs, or NFTs representing real world assets and being able to participate in, for example, as collateral for loans in DeFi. And I think with this expansion of NFT utility and with DAOs, we can really show people who are in traditional finance why the trustless protocols in the DeFi space and in crypto in general are really the next step in finance, and why they should get in and use the DeFi protocols. So I'm on the same page with Zach here.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. And Ruby, I'll pass on to yourself if you have anything to add.
Actually, thank God this is the last question, so I would rather share this about from the marketing perspective, since I'm in the marketing department, about DAOs and NFT, and because I think they will always exist, because from the perspective of token insurance, raising funds or airdropping tokens through DAOs can reduce a lot of our legal risks. Also, like raising funds from DAOs, and at the same time, within the increasing number of wallets or agreements users like Caduceus save, some people who gain income from like trading in exchanges will consider managing assets with others or reinvesting in the markets through DAO. And also because we actually have our own NFT collection, so I know that it is definitely in the bull market right now. So like some of the projects end like during mint or just before mint. So it can even be said that the round of market recovery, there are fewer and fewer people discussing NFT today. So many NFT platforms in the market that have frequently raised tens of millions of dollars may not even have 10 real users transaction within one day. So I also noticed that many traditional companies wanted to enter the NFT field in the past, but most of them did not have come from the NFT market. So they just had they had a lot of IPO products that they wanted to repackage and sell them again in the NFT format. So, however, in the absence of new funds in large scale entering this field, I think the existing user of the NFT fields are very smart already. When they step on the pit once, they will not step on it again. So it definitely requires more like utility within the NFT. So therefore, I think the specific purpose of the NFT in the main direction in the future will be like they will have more real uses.
Thank you, Ruby. Yeah, and I definitely tend to agree with that. Really looking forward to sort of the future of NFTs and where they're going to go. You know, I'm a big sort of believer and preacher to most of the people in my, I would say, in my fiat life who are outside of the Web3 world. you know, and it's just trying to explain to them sometimes how they think an NFT is just a picture on a computer, and you trying to explain to them that these NFTs may be a part of their everyday life in the not too near future, you know, and then they're not even aware to it at the moment. So no, great point. Roman, if I can pass it on to yourself.
Yeah, you know, in my previous answers, I have discussed various aspects of DeFi, you know, and from technical, let's say, perspective, yeah. And I believe that, let's say, I'm not sure that I can say that this is innovation, but DAOs, NFTs, DEXs, lendings, and others have, in my opinion, have already made a significant impact, meaning that many possible variations have been explored, and it's unlikely that something completely new will emerge. With that in mind, let me just recap my key points in the context, yeah, of this question. And for me, it seems that most of what could be developed, at least on EVM chains, has already been developed. This is, of course, a relative statement, but I think you got the idea. Second, we are unlikely to see any mind-blowing advancements, you know, in technical field in current DeFi products, just in my opinion, yeah, on EVM chains, of course. And also the future drivers of DeFi market will be new technologies in a new blockchain field as a whole, such as asynchrony, ZK proofs, and others that are not yet fully explored, let's say, yeah. And it's also important to understand that these technologies are already a reality, not just hypothetical. And the last, that new technologies will always bring new tools, opportunities, and new experience. And, you know, to conclude on inspiring note, just because, you know, today I'm a little bit opposite, let's say, yeah, the future of DeFi is filled with potential for growth and improvements. As the industry continues to evolve and incorporate new technologies, new products, and we can expect to see even more innovative solutions that will benefit users, developers, and the entry blockchain ecosystem. The key to success lies in embracing these changes and staying open to new possibilities. They pave the way for a more interconnected and efficient decentralized financial system. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Another great answer, Roman. Thank you so much. And a massive thank you to all of you, actually. All great answers from all of our speakers today. So thank you so much for attending. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow all of our socials, press that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on the latest updates, join our community, and be sure to go and check out all the projects of our speakers today. They've been brilliant and obviously have some exciting things coming up. So look, thank you, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of Metatalk. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.